call Allah Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakha Kwadash. Alright, man, that's who this world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ in the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. You know, first and foremost, I'd like to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well and are truly the overseers of Israel today, right? I also had to give a big shout out to the Akazat, who I also teach under out here in Greenville, South Carolina, you know, which is the head of the Men Israel camp, right? I also had to give a big shout out to you, Akim, across the four corners of the earth that's out here pushing and teaching this truth and sincerity, you know, the 100% truth, right? First and foremost. Then I'd like to give a big shout out to you, Akwaf, right? That's you sisters, that truly believe, man, that truly take heed to the scriptures, and you know, and basically that take heed, man. To y'all, I like to say shalom, all right? All right, it's the Akdabak, back through the spirit and power, how about Shemiah with Shah, man. You know, with another exhortation and lesson, man, but going into, you know, I'm going to speak on a little bit of, you know, my situations that I've been going through and how they're going, and I'm going to tie them into the scriptures, man. As you can see by the title, man, the faith of Job, man. And once again, I'm not comparing. Let me make this clear first and foremost. I'm not comparing my situation to Job at all. I'm just, you know, speaking upon both of them, right? Both situations. You dig what I'm saying? But let me give you a quick backstory. You know, I was having a conversation. Big shout out to the Akana as well. We're having a conversation probably about we're just having a conversation probably about 2 weeks, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, and you know, I've been going through a lot, man. And I was talking to him, you know, chopping it up with a like-minded brother, you know, and you know, we were just talking and going into it, and I was telling him what all was going on, and he was telling me, you know, no matter what we go through now on this side, before the end times, it's not doing nothing but preparing us for the end time, right? Going into faith, man. So if the Lord is testing us now as far as faith, you know, putting us through different testing trials, harder testing trials, now, what is he doing? He's not doing nothing but getting us more equipped for the end times. So when that time comes, we're not even going to be phased, man, because we know if we continue to keep our faith in the Lord, he's going to take care of us, which he has taken care of me. And I can wholeheartedly say that, man. That didn't, and he said that's not doing nothing but making your feet, it's like making your faith grow deeper, right? Because it was already, you know, you already had a good bit of faith, but then the Lord put you through a whole lot of tests and trials at the same time. And then you just keep your faith in the Lord because you don't know what you're going to do about it. And then the Lord answers, figures it all. The Lord does it all. He takes care of it all, right? And that's basically what is going on with me. It was more than one thing, you know, that was going on at one time. It was more than one thing going on. It was probably about like 3-4 things, right? You know, but come, you know, I, of course, ultimately, I know straight off the bat, you know, I'm locked in the faith, and I understand this is another test from the Lord. But what I had to do, I got to stay locked in the faith and just keep my faith in the Lord and keep doing what I got to do, right? And the Lord will figure everything out. The Lord will take care of everything else. There's no need, you know. And because it was so much at one time, I started to stress. I got a little weary, right? But once again, I'm human. That happens. But I never let go of my faith, man. I stay strong with my faith. I stay strong in, you know, who I believe in. I made sure my family was strong in that. And what happened? The Lord took care of it, man. And you know, while I was having that conversation with the brother Anah, you know, the Lord put on my spirit to read Job, man. Because we all know Job's faith was crazy beautiful. Was beautiful, not crazy, Salakia. Job's faith was beautiful. Beautiful, man. And the Lord just put the spirit on me to read Job because Job had a lot taken through him at one time. Job had everything taken. And that's what we're going to go into today. Job had everything taken, man. from the spiritual demon Satan, man. Ultimately, still the Lord, but the Lord had Satan do it. The spiritual demon Satan do it, right? And that didn't do nothing but increase my faith through my trials and tribulations that I'm going through, man. And it's not doing nothing but continuing to prepare me for the end times and those times when Esau try to come down and we get tested in the faith, man. And I know what I'm gonna do, and I know what I gotta do, and that's what I did in the situations now. Stay strong in the faith, stay strong and believing in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and let him know that he'll take care of me and my family. And I know that because I know I'm covered from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. And I want to say the Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahushua for that, man. But I ain't gonna do too much rambling. Just want to give a little backstory on it. But now we're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna start. This is the book of Job, chapter 1. We're gonna start at verse 6, man. We're gonna start at verse 6, man. All right, and it says, now there was a day when the sons of Yahweh came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Right, verse 7. It says, and the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Meaning, why did you come? Basically, right? Then Satan answered the Lord Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Verse 8. And the Lord and Yahweh said unto Satan, Salakim, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Lord and eschews evil, right? One that eschews evil, man. Let's get that word. Let's get that word. Escheweth in the blue letter, man. Salakim in that instance hitting me. Let me slide it over. Fuck. Slide it over. Put it on the other side of the desk. All right, let me get that. Let's get that in the blue letter, man. Okay. All right, verse 8, Job 1 and 8. All right, that word excuseth means to turn aside, to depart from thy ways, avoid, right? To avoid evil. That's what the Lord Salakim. That's what the Lord said his servant Job did. That's what his servant Job does. He goes away from evil, man. Right? Let's continue on. Verse 9, it says, then Satan answered Yahweh and said, does Job fear the Lord for naught? Verse 10, it says, have thou Salakim, has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance in Salakim. It's increased, but I'm gonna twist my words. I'm gonna start back over. It says, and his substance increased in the land, right? So Satan right now is questioning the Lord. Like, you're saying, basically, to bring it into a different aspect, to bring a better understanding to you, Satan is going into the Lord like, have you tried, and you've given him an increase in what he's done, like in the land in this, but have you tried him with everything that he had, with all his land, with his house, with this, that, and the third? Have you tried him on it? That's basically what's going on right now, right? That's basically what's going on. All right. Verse 11, and this is the spiritual demon Satan. Once again, just want to remind you of that, right? Verse 11, it says, but put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face, right? That's what the spiritual demon Satan is saying to the Lord. I will, put my hand upon everything that he has, all of his land. And he said, watch Job, cursed the Lord to his face. Right? Verse 12 says, and the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahweh. Verse 13, and there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. Right? Verse 14. All right, mind you, this is Job's kids. This is Job's children, right? Verse 14, it says, and there came a messenger unto Job and said, the ox were plowing and the asses feeding beside them, right? And the Salakim, I'll butcher a few of these words, man. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna be able to pronounce these couple of these words, but hey, just work with me, you know. But if you follow along, you can be able to read it. And the Sabines, I guess, fell upon them and took them away. So this is another people that came and took away Job's asses, like donkeys, and ox. Ox and donkeys, basically, right? And took them away. Right, so a servant came to Job and told him, you know, these people came and took the donkeys and the oxes, man, and they flew away. Right. All right, continuing on, verse 15, it says, yeah, they had slain the servants with the edge of the sword, right, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So one servant got away from that group of people that to tell Job, like, hey, they just came and took the donkeys and the oxes and slayed all the servants, and they, you know, and I'm the only one that got away to come tell you, right? That's what just happened. All right, verse 16 says, while he was yet speaking, there came also another. So another servant came unto Job while Job was speaking with the first servant. So now I'm gonna say, just to, you know, keep it going. That was servant number 1. Now servant number 2 is coming, right? He's coming while Joe's speaking with servant number 1, right? All right, let's continue on. Verse 16, once again, I'll start back at the top. While he was yet speaking, there also came another and said, the fire of the Lord is fallen from heaven and hath burned up the sheep and the servants, and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So now you got servant number 2 coming, saying the fire of the Lord just came and burnt up everything, right? The sheep had burned up the sheep, and all this stuff. So servant number 2 just said. So for servant number 1 just said, this group of people just came, took the oxes and the donkeys, slayed all of them servants, and flew away. But one got away. Servant number 1. Servant number 2 just came and said the sheep, right? The fire just came down, burnt up all the sheep, consumed all the servants and the sheep. But he got away, servant number 2, to tell Job. So Job just found out this is already a lot. Just off servant number 1 and 2, what they saying. This is already a lot, right? Immediately. Right? Let's continue on though. All right, it says, and I am the only and I only am escaped to tell thee, right? Boom. Verse 17. While he was yet speaking, there came also another. So another servant came. This is servant number 3 now. Servant number 3 came while he was speaking with 1 and 2, right? Mind you, servant number 3, right? It says, and there also came another and said, the Chaldees made out the bands and fell upon the cattle, and have carried them away, and have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped to tell thee. So, wow. So, the number 1, the oxes and the donkeys. Number 2, the sheep. Now number 3, his cattle. And out of all of that's going on, there's only a total of 3 servants that got away just out of the first 3 things that happened. Come on, man. So I'm making a point out of all this for a reason, man. Make sure y'all paying attention, because this is deep. This is a lot. Because I'm asking you right now, what the fuck would y'all do if this happened to y'all? Man, y'all, boy, y'all niggas probably would, try to curse the Lord. But listen to how deeply rooted in his faith Job was, man. Listen, man, all of this has happened. 1, 2, and 3 servants that came to him and told him a whole bunch of bull. And told him what all just happened. Ox and donkey, sheep, not a cattle, right? Let's continue on, man. Right? It says, they came and the Chaldees slayed all them servants, and he got away to tell them. That was servant number 3. All right, now verse 18, right? It says, while he was yet speaking, there also came another. So now we got servant number 4. So this is about to be, and I can already tell, you can tell the first 3 things, those are big things. Those are big problems. And now you got another one coming. Now you already know, man, there's got to be the 4th, another big problem. If all of y'all coming to me back to back to back to back to back like this, there's got to be another big problem. What was the... So now I can already tell, Job was like, what you finna say? What done happen now? What is this? Because mind you, they're all coming while Job was talking to 2 came while Job was talking to 1, 3 came while 2 was talking to while Job was talking to 2. Now 4 came while Job was talking to 3. Serving them 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how we gonna put them. Just for edification's sake, right? Let's continue on. Verse 18. It says, and said, thy son, mind you, we read that, didn't we? Yes, mind you, at the beginning, what verse was it? Hold on, I'll be able to tell you. Hang on, Salakia. I'm gonna tell you the exact verse. It was verse, because we started at verse 6. So it was verse 13, right? So y'all remember back at verse 13, how, it said the sons and daughters went to the eldest brother's house, and they all was in there eating and drinking, right? Stay right there. Okay. So back to verse 8, now back to verse 18, right? So I'm gonna start back at the top. While he was yet speaking, there came also another servant, and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in the eldest brother's house, and behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the four corners of the house, and it yet fell upon the young men, and they are dead. So first the Shabeeds, or I don't know how to pronounce the name, but the Shabeeds, I guess, I don't know. The first one came and said, they took, this group of people took his oxes and donkeys, slayed his servants, and flee with his animals. The second one just came and said, fire from the Lord came down, burnt up all the sheep, and they did. The third one just came and said the Chaldees took his cattle, slayed the servants, and now the fourth one just came and said, while his sons and daughters were at the eldest brother's house, eating and drinking wine, a great wind came and killed all his children. So the Lord had all of this happen back to back to back to back to back in the same instance, man. I don't know anybody who could Come on, bro. That's why the Lord said Job faith was crazy. Because for all of this to happen, we're gonna get into it. I'm not gonna ruin it because we got a few more verses. We got a few more verses. But for all of this to happen, come on, man. Look, watch what Job do, man. Pay attention, man. Watch what Job do. Job was so deeply rooted in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Watch what Job do, man. And these are crazy shits. These are 4 crazy instances, man. Watch what Job did, man. And they are dead. Back at the end of verse 19, it says, and only I escaped alone to tell thee. And this is Job's response to those 4 things, man. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Verse 22, and verse 22 it says, and all this Job sinned not, nor charged Yahweh foolishly. So even though all this happened to Job, back to back, Job kept the faith, man. And it's the same thing back to my original point. The Lord is gonna put us through stuff now, and we gotta be like Job, man. The first thing Job did when he got up after hearing all of this stuff that just happened, his kid died, all his animals gone, his servants slain. Job went. He didn't curse the Lord, and he didn't come at the Lord crazy. And prayed, man. Salakim. What does it say in verse 21? Verse 20. Let me read these again. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshiping the Lord, man. Calling out to the Lord, man. Crying out to the Lord, man. That's what Job did. Even though all of this just happened, even though all these trials and tribulations just came, everything that just came, what did Job do? He went down and worshiped the Lord, man. He prayed to the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. Right? And said, naked I came out of my mother's womb, and naked I shall return thither, and the Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed is the name of the Lord. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged Yahweh foolishly. Job didn't go to the Lord and be like, man, what? You took all this from me. Job didn't do none of that. Job didn't do none of that. Job didn't do nothing but keep the faith and keep the faith strong. He went and worshiped the Lord, cried out to the Lord, and prayed to the Lord, man. And I bet money, after all this situation came about and after it was over and finished, man, any other test and trial, man, Job did the same thing. Because Job knew from this past situation, man, the Lord got me. The Lord got me. The Lord done took me through all of this just a few, weeks ago. Man, that ain't nothing that they can do to me, man. Cause I'm not gonna do nothing but keep my faith. I done lost my family. I done lost my cattle. I done lost my servants. I done all of this shit, man. I done lost everything. But he kept his faith strong in the Lord, man. And that didn't do nothing but tie into what I spoke about the brother Anas said. Everything we go through and all the trials and tribulation we go through are not nothing but to get us ready for the end times, man. For when Esau try to come to us and tempt us then. We're not gonna have to worry about none of that. Why? Because we already know, man, the Lord done put me through worse before. And what I do, I kept my faith strong and the Lord took care of me. So what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna keep my faith strong and the Lord gonna take care of me again. And Yahweh Ratazah, I can be redeemed. Talking back to how I was telling y'all about my situation, how I got the good couple things going on right now. I kept my faith strong, man. I kept my faith strong. I prayed. I did what Job did. I prayed. I worshiped. I cried out to the Lord. And what did the Lord do, man? The Lord took care of all of it. So now I know, man, and I know that didn't do nothing but, you know, boost me up more. And it didn't do nothing, the same thing for Job. It didn't do nothing but give him more faith. Because after all of this was said and done, man, come on, man. It's the same thing with us, man. It's the same thing with us, man. Who is the us I'm talking about? The hopeful elect. The hopeful elect. And it can even tie into, you know, the 1/3. It does tie into the 1/3. You women and children as well. Y'all gonna go through shit too. But y'all better know, whatever y'all go through now, the same thing is still ties to y'all, man. But we gotta stay in the faith, man. We gotta stay in the faith, man. We gotta be strong in the faith. I pray for that every time I pray, man, to keep me strong. Because you can't be, if you're weak-minded, man, or you're not strong-minded, man, you're gonna collapse. If Job was weak-minded, if he wasn't strong-minded and strong in the faith, Job would have folded. But he wasn't. He was strong in the faith. That's why the Lord in the beginning of the verses, he said, there is no one like him. He said, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Lord and escheweth evil. He was talking about Job. That lets you know Job was strong in the faith, man. So what we gotta be? We gotta be just like that. Because in these times that's gonna come, man, ain't no telling what's gonna happen, man. Esau gonna be letting all these creatures they done created let loose. The Lord gonna have some shit down here. The Lord gonna be, you know, you may see somebody, you know, get shot right in front of you. Ain't no telling what's gonna happen, man. But if you're not locked in and understanding, you know, that, like, let's say for instance, I'm gonna give you a quick example, man. Let's say you get captured. You and 5 other people get captured. But if you're not strong in that faith and believing that, hey man, I know the Lord can get me out of here, man. Just let me, you know, I just gotta keep the faith. You know, you may get captured. The Lord may have them knock off all them other 4 people, and you the only one left standing. And they may be like, you know, we're gonna save him, or we're gonna da-da-da-da. You don't know what the fuck happened. And then the Lord allow you to get away. But I bet you if you was weak in the faith, none of that would even happen. The Lord will probably knock you off with the other 4 that got knocked off. You know, speaking on the example. But no matter what it is, man, you gotta have the faith, man. You gotta be strong in the faith, man. And if you're not praying for that, it's a whole bunch of Hebrew prayers out here, man. Shout out to, you know, the brothers in Great Millstone, man. They post. I see beautiful prayers, man, to keep me strong in the faith, to keep, you know, to keep the spirit on me. To all these beautiful Hebrew prayers, man. You know, yes, we're not gonna be able to say the Hebrew prayers is the best of our ability. Duh. You know, we don't. You know, we're not fluent in it, but you better try it to the best of your ability. Just, you know, and just make sure you locked in and know that, yes, I'm going through a trial and tribulation right now, but I know at the end of the day, the Lord not doing nothing but helping building me up more for the time to come, to where I can possibly be redeemed. Yahweh willing. Abba Ratazah. You know, man, but that's the point, man. And then I didn't read it, but you know, later on in the chapter, You know, more and more was happening to Job. You know, a lot more was happening to Job, right? Even his woman cursed him. The woman told him he needed to curse the Lord. Did Job do it? He didn't. Continue to read on in the book of Job. The book of Job is very beautiful. If you need a faith booster, go read Job. Simple as that. Simple as that, man. That's definitely one of my favorite books, man. Possibly my favorite. I love the book of Job because it don't do nothing but help boost you, man, in the faith. Because how are we gonna be saved? Through faith, man. Through our faith, man. And Job is the greatest example that I can give you about faith. So, hey, man, Yahya Ratazada video was edifying. Yahya Ratazada point, Abba Ratazada point was made. You know, Abba Ratazada, you can take from it, and you can, you know, y'all go read for yourself and read the book of Job, and take from it and pray, man. You know, I on YouTube, I see brothers. That's how I get the prayers. You know, us and the brothers that are in the Israel camp, we see a lot of the brothers posting Hebrew prayers, man. We take those prayers, we put them in our phone, man, and we practice them. We got to stay strong in the faith, to stay up, you know, to stay locked in, to stay deeply rooted, man. You know, that's what you got to do, man. But once again, it's not doing nothing but helping you, man. And the Lord is not, no matter, once again, man, no matter what we go through, just like I use myself as an example, just like I'm going through stuff, everybody go through stuff, man. But it's not doing nothing but to help us, man, for the latter time, man. And that's how you got to mentally look at it. Don't be like, oh, man, the Lord punishing me, man. The Lord, you know, damn, man, da-da-da-da. No. You should be happy the Lord punishing you, because that means the Lord dealing with you first and foremost. But, man, Abba Ratazada's video is edifying, man. Abba Ratazada, y'all can take from it and learn from it, understand that this is not a game, and know that you got to be locked in the faith. You got to be deeply rooted in the faith, man. You know, man, but with that, man, I'm going to go ahead and end it by giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash, man. Awa double ball, man. Hey, man. Keep the faith, man. Finish reading the book of Job. Go through more and more. Job went through a lot more than what I just read. I just brought that out just to, you know, give a quick example on it. But Job was like he said, man, there was no one like him. And there wasn't no one like him for a reason. And so that's what we got to do in this truth, man. Because this truth get hard sometimes, man. But hey, man, you got to suck it up and take it to the chin and keep it pushing. You know, just like the servant Job did. You better go pray. You better go fast and pray and keep it going. You better not stop. You better not push away from the brothers. You better stay locked in. You better stay with the brothers, like-minded brothers, and keep pushing with those brothers. You know, but ultimately you gotta make your call to election sure. But you can still do it with the brothers, by your works, by your time you're putting in, by your, you know, whatever the case may be, man. But make sure you locked in the faith, because if you ain't, man, you're done. And there's no point in you being here. Simple as that. You know, that's just me being real, man. But I ain't gonna keep egging it on, man. I'm not even egging it on. I'm just, the spirit is on me right now, man. And the Lord has me exalting this point strongly for a reason. And I'm speaking to myself. This whole time I've been speaking to myself too, man. Because I still gotta be locked in. You know what I mean? But hey, man. With that, I'm gonna end it, man. Shalom, 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 man. Keep the faith, man. Shalom.